Hey guys, it's Tim and this is Pro Wrestling, and let's fix Luke's camera if it's unlimited. I know what I gotta do. Let's move it down. We're here, we're talking Monday Night Raw. We're fixing stuff on the fly.
I was like, my head is like way too up.
I was like, whoa. We're good. I think I was recording something else in the little same window, and I had it positioned differently. It's all good. Takes 2 seconds to fix, as you see there. Not a problem, but it's Monday, and we're here to talk about Monday Night Raw, where you saw the title of this video, this live stream, this podcast. Liv Morgan suffered an unfortunate injury tonight, and it's nobody's fault. Word going around is that it is 100% a real injury. This is not a storyline or anything, and no one is to blame. It's a freak occurrence, a freak accident. The fear is that she suffered a dislocated shoulder, and there's a couple of things to look at here. If it's a severe dislocation that doesn't need surgery, 12 to 16 weeks out of action, which is 3 to 4 months. If it needs surgery, then what was Finn, you said 8 months or so? Then he was out when he needed surgery?
Yeah, I think it was 8 months, and he was out from SummerSlam till he was back Raw after Mania.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's like a more severe needs surgery thing, because remember, they were like, oh, we're going to go in there, it'll be a couple hour surgery, bing, bang, boom, get it done, and then it ended up being like a 5-hour surgery, worse than they expected. So hopefully Liv is not as bad as Finn was back in 2016, and we'll keep you guys updated if we do hear anything else about Liv Morgan, but I just wanted to get that out of the way up front, because there is no real news on this right now. So no reason to like harp on it later when we talk about that match and so forth. So just get it out of the way. Say, hey, Liv's hurt, possible dislocated shoulder. Don't know anything else. So we'll see what happens. As far as her working with Nikki Bella. Now, Nikki Bella had stated on Instagram that she couldn't wait to be at Raw in Green Bay. Now, we don't know. We haven't heard anything on if Nikki was actually there. But if she was, maybe she was going to come down and do something with Liv after or during the match. We don't know. We don't know what any plans would have been for Nikki Bella. We don't know if she was there, but we do know they're building something, or we're building something for Nikki and Liv, whether that was Nikki versus Liv one-on-one or Nikki and Brie teaming up and facing Raquel and Liv for the tag titles. But whatever it is, if it is a dislocated shoulder, even a just slight dislocation, they're probably going to keep Liv out of action for the next month. Even if it's a small one, not severe or anything. So I think things are going to be a changing and shifting and moving when it comes to what the Bellas are now doing at Evolution. Whether that's both Bellas or Nikki. And Elite says the same thing that you said. Maybe Roxanne and Raquel can take over.
I mean, it would make sense. It would intensify, or I hope that's the right word, right? That's the word correctly. Intensify or add some more stuff to the story.
Yeah, intensifies, right? It can intensify and make the story more intriguing because it adds a new wrinkle with Roxanne, not just like trying to slide in and be with Liv. Now she's literally taking Liv's spot with Raquel.
Right.
Also, Alexander Leon, you can go hit the bricks. He says, again, Nikki Bella didn't show up. You lied. How do we know that Nikki wasn't supposed to be involved with the Liv stuff during or after the match? Nikki's the one herself that said, can't wait for Green Bay next Monday. So don't the fuck say that I lied when I didn't lie. I literally told you what Nikki herself said. So we were reporting on what Nikki said. Nikki said she was going to be there. She couldn't wait to be there. And for all we know, like I stated, maybe she was supposed to come out during the match. Maybe she was supposed to come out after the match. But because of the Liv injury, I can tell you for sure, a few things had to get shifted around and shuffled around and changed. So, call me a liar. Don't call me a fucking liar when I didn't lie. Especially when it didn't just like, it wasn't like a PWU Insider or a FIFO report that I aggregated. That came from the fucking Hall of Famer herself, Nikki Bella, or Garcia. So, I can even show you guys. Let's go to Instagram really fast and pull up. Hold on. Now you got me heated. Take 2 seconds. I got it right here.
And Indiana's just struggling this game.
Uh-oh. We got this right here.
What?
Nikki herself said, this reality show diva is still on cloud 9 and still feeling this oblivion. Oh, Bella Army, I can't wait for Green Bay this Monday. So grateful for all of you. It's just the beginning. Why would she not, like, why would she say can't wait for Green Bay if she wasn't going to Green Bay? You know what I mean? There's no reason for her to say can't wait for Green Bay if she wasn't going. So don't call me a liar. Don't call me a liar. I didn't lie nothing. OKC still up?
Yeah, it's 116 to. Ooh, now it's 116 to 104.
You must be ahead
Pascal
of me.
Siakam.
Pascal
Siakam just made it 3.
Okay, there it is. You're ahead of me slightly because mine now is 116. It was 113. Anywho.
And just so you guys know, I got the NBA Finals going on in the background. So if I'm talking about that, that's why. So.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. I've done freaking SmackDown reviews and had a NASCAR race on the side screen, so. But with all that, yes. Don't have any other details on the Liv injury right now. Don't know how this is going to impact Evolution and the Bellas and all of that. So if we do hear anything further, we will let you guys know here on the channel, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, TikTok, all the things. We'll keep you guys updated as much as we can. But with all of that, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you can be muted. There it goes. That was weird.
I just said that. I just said that. Do you not hear me?
No, I must have clicked the button and it must have muted everything for me. Anyways, I clicked the wrong button. I think I was trying to mute you because I heard you typing and I clicked the wrong channel to mute. That might have been what it was.
I was just trying to pull up the Twitch chat and YouTube chat on my laptop.
Gotcha. Anyways, help us out over on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, hit the join button to become a channel member. Subscribe over on Patreon, patreon.com/PWU Unlimited, and become a channel member. Also, finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. You play Fortnite? You like Fox, Animation Domination, King of the Hill, Family Guy, The Cleveland Show, or Bob's Burgers? Well, we've got some skins. Well, they've got some skins for you. You can download the skins and get skins of King of the Hill's Hank Hill, Bob's Burgers, Bob Belcher, and Family Guy in the Cleveland Show's Cleveland Brown. When buying any of these skins on the Epic Game Store, whether that is, or on Fortnite, whether that's through the Epic Game Store, whether that's through your PlayStation, your Xbox, your phone, your PC, your Switch, and so forth, use our code at the bottom of the store, PW Unlimited. Again, that's PWU NLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. Also, the new Super Season is out. Get a cool Robin skin right now. And then on July 11th, when the new Superman movie comes out, you can unlock the new Corn Sweat skin as well. But with all of that, oh, now you're the opposite way. Not, how did that happen? There we go.
I don't know.
Anyways, as far as Raw does go, Raw did kick off with Liv Morgan. And it's like, ooh, man. Liv opened the show and then built all this stuff up. And like a lot of progression for Liv tonight. Her and Io were probably, like, it looked like her and Io were going to be a thing, whether that was at Night of Champions or not. But, oh, man. I didn't even think about that part. Now looking back at my notes, I'm like, oh, crap. They did do a Liv Io tease. Now it's probably going to be for Night of Champions. Now I don't know what the, oh, man. Man, a big wrinkle into all this. We'll recap it like all is good and then give some thoughts and predictions and insight. It's not really insight, but overview what we think could happen moving forward. So Liv and Dom come down to the ring to open the show. Liv welcomes us to Monday Night Morgan and wanted to hear some noise from the most generous man in WWE, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. The fans booed. They don't boo over his promo like they used to. Like, they don't boo Dom as much. They kind of did, but you feel like they almost didn't want to boo, but they're like, well, we got to boo Dom. But Dom said tonight, it's not about him. It was about Morgan and the fans and everybody turning their backs on her. Wait, what? Elite said Io versus Liv should happen at Mania. Well, Mania already passed, bud. So, yeah, you're a little late on that one. Morgan said that Nikki Bella.
They probably meant like next Mania.
Well, they could do it before and after. Why not? Like, they could do her and Io and Night of Champions and then build up to them again next year. It's whatever. It's whatever. Anyways, Morgan and Nikki Bella. Or Morgan said Nikki Bella learned the hard way that this division wasn't about her. And now Nikki was sitting hurt at home. Now, did you see on the Bella's podcast where they kind of said that they paved the way for this current generation?
What do you mean?
Well, on their podcast, they basically made it sound like the current women's generation wouldn't have all the opportunities they did without the Bellas. But here's the thing. And I saw a lot of people saying this, and I agree. You pluck the Bellas out of WWE, and where we are now is still the exact same, other than there might have been no Total Divas. That would have been the only difference. With no Bellas, maybe no Total Divas. Other than that, everything else would have still been the same. Would you agree?
I mean, maybe. There definitely would have been no Total Divas.
More than likely, yeah. But it's like, if you want to talk about who changed the women's landscape in WWE, it was Trish and Lita, it was Beth Phoenix, and it was AJ Lee. What, other than like being popular on social media and doing Total Divas, really did the Bellas do? I mean, you could maybe say, that they helped get the Give Divas a Chance hashtag over. But I think that would have gotten over regardless if they were there or not. That would have still happened. So, yeah. Even, I'd put Paige Saraya ahead of them for changing the landscape of women's wrestling in WWE. Because think about it. When she was in NXT and they were, it was her and Emma fighting for the first NXT Women's Championship and all that, it was because of her and things she was pushing Triple H to let her do in matches that changed the women's division in NXT. So, I'm just going to
say AJ Lee?
Yes.
Would you say AJ Lee did the same?
I mean, on the main roster. Because I would think the women that changed what the women's division is in WWE, Trish and Lita for sure. And then you've got like Beth Phoenix. You've got AJ Lee and Saraya Page, whatever you want to call her. I feel like those are the ones, those five are who really changed the division. Again, nothing against the Bellas. They did bring in a whole new crop of fans, but I don't think women getting better opportunities, main eventing WrestleMania and so forth, would be here without the Bellas. It would still be here if the Bellas weren't, if that makes any sense. And again, no shade on the Bellas. They did do some good things during their time, but they weren't as game-changing as they think they are. But go for it.
Other than Nikki just breaking the record for the longest reigning Divas champion.
But here's my thing. As champion, what was she doing different that was making a difference than what the women were doing before? She was still walking out to 4-minute matches, shaking her bum in her entrance. What's the difference? You know what I mean?
I guess.
At least AJ was out there trying to not be the typical diva. AJ was out there trying to put on actual matches. And same with Saraya and Beth Phoenix of the time. And then you had everything that Trish and Lita were doing before that. Hell, I'd put Victoria ahead of the Bellas as influential, changing the way that women are perceived in the ring in WWE. I would put Victoria ahead of them. And she is somebody that grossly is underappreciated
Fun fact, I actually had breakfast with Victoria during
Nice.
WrestleCon, and she was telling us a story how she had to like beg Vince for bleed in one of her matches.
Well, he just doesn't get it. He said Nikki was winning. That's the difference. Bro, it's booked by the booker. Vince was booking the wins and losses. That has nothing to do with the things done during the matches, trying to make the matches better, trying to have more physical, actual wrestling matches. You can say she won all you want, but that had nothing to do with her. That was just Vince liked her, thought she was over with the teeny boppers, and kept pushing her. Cuddy says Mickie James as well. Hell yeah, I'd put Mickie James ahead of the Bellas as being influential in the ring. Again, Bellas did a lot to bring in a new generation of fans. And there are some female wrestlers that may have seen Total Divas because of them and said, I want to be wrestlers. But again, they didn't do anything, in my opinion, that really changed the game. Again, women are main eventing WrestleMania now. You take out the Bellas, and that's still happening today. So that's just my thing on it. I don't think they changed the game in the ring as much as they say they do. But regardless, back to Liv's promo. She mocked Io Sky. Go for it.
What about Natalia?
Natty's like, I don't know, because I feel like, and maybe it's just me thinking, well, she's a Total Divas girl, but I think Natty's contributions are more going to come now than ever before, if I'm going to be completely honest. I think Natty, and she said this for too long, just played the game, was the yes girl, and just did what was asked of her. You know what I mean? But I think now she's stepping out, trying to do more, helping out with, she's got her little dungeon where she's training people, helping people get better. I think that is going to be her contribution and where she changes things moving forward. So, but like, I was contemplating saying Natty, but at the same time, it's like, but then it's like, you say Nat. Oh, Beth for sure. Beth Phoenix, 100%. I said Beth, but it's like, you say Natty, and you maybe also have to say Michelle McCool, but not really. So it's like, also, speaking of Michelle McCool really fast, not to get off topic, she's a horrible co-host on the Undertaker's podcast. Hashtag bring back Matt. WWE took it over. I don't know what happened, but Matt's not there. They didn't even address it. All Undertaker said was, my new co-host, my lovely wife, Michelle McCool, WWE Hall of Famer. That's all he said. Didn't address where's Matt and his flip-flops and his sandals. Where's their old set? Because the new set looks way too big now for two people. Granted, I get it. If they have a guest, they're going to sit on that couch between them. But when it's just the two of them, they're like, they should be in basically in separate rooms. They're so far apart. But anyways, I don't think I'm watching 6 Feet Under anymore. Here's the thing. I found them boring. And then literally, Michelle was talking about them going on vacation and goes, yeah, we're kind of a pretty boring couple. I'm like, well, why should I listen to you guys on a freaking podcast? Then the worst part is Undertaker doing ad reads and trying to do the same ad reads as Cody, where he's like, we're brought to you by Fanatics. Fanatics wants to know your favorite jerseys. What are your favorite four jerseys? Wrestling shirts count too. I'm like, oh my God. Oh Lord. Because I loved going on Undertaker's podcast and him going, well, I almost didn't show up today because I wasn't feeling it. He ain't doing that anymore. Now it's a WWE machine. And it's not even on his channel anymore. It's on WWE's YouTube channel. So like, yeah, I could go on because I loved Undertaker's podcast. I thought him and his buddy Matt had a great chemistry. They'd bring on guests, and it was cool when like sometimes Matt knew things that the guests did back in the day, but then like when Matt didn't know and he's learning at the same time as like us listening as fans, that's really cool. But like Michelle McCool was just boring talking, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see once they have guests on the show. Maybe I'll watch the next one. I didn't get halfway through before I had to turn it off. I was that just bored with it. Cody's is good though. I love Cody's. Cody's is really good. Have you listened to any of
What
Cody's?
you want to talk about?
Yeah. Have you listened to any of his?
I haven't yet, but wasn't there one where he's talking about AEW?
Oh, in both the Brandy and the Damian Priest one. Because they talk about him and Damian Priest being in ROH together and Bullet Club stuff. So, yeah, Cody's got like Cody's got like no rules. He's just talking about whatever he wants. Because like,
I totally forgot.
Because they talk about how Cody's daughter's godfather is QT Marshall, and QT Marshall is Damian Priest's best friend. So they go all in on QT and talking about all that kind of stuff.
Jeez, I completely forgot about Damian Priest being an ROH. Freaking Punishment Martinez.
Yep.
That's a throwback. I remember like when he was in ROH, I kept thinking, I was like, yeah, he'll probably stay in ROH for a while because he was a guy that I just did not think WWE would sign him.
Oh, what? Once he lost the weight and like got better in the ring, I'm like, this is a Triple H type of guy. Like I thought he was perfect for Triple H's NXT.
I did too, but I just didn't think he would be a guy that Vince would like.
See, at that time, Triple H was kind of sneakily signing people, and then once Vince got wind of it, that's when you go, uh-oh. But there was times, I forget, like Priest was one of them. I think DIY was the other one that Triple H kind of sneakily signed out of the Cruiserweight Classic. So,
I think didn't they sign Kota Ibushi at one point, and then he decided not to stay?
So Kota never actually had a contract. They wanted him coming out of the Cruiserweight Classic. He worked like a couple house shows or something on the NXT loop. There was something weird with it, but he never actually
freelancing for NXT though. I'm pretty sure.
he never officially like signed a contract, but like they wanted him, so they did like a feeling out process is what it felt like. It just nothing came of it. And then he showed up in New Japan. And then he showed up in New Japan after never being signed there before that. So
yeah, he was like somebody where he just didn't really want to sign with anybody.
Oh, he's been like that for a long time. Like everyone was shocked when he signed a contract with AEW. But we'll see. Back to the promo here. After she's making fun of Nikki Bella, Morgan starts making fun of Io Sky. She talks about how she paved the way, even though Io tried saying that Nikki paved the way. Morgan then called out Io. Io makes her way down to the ring. Crowd's chanting for Io. She told Morgan to do what everybody wants her to do. Do a favor and shut up. Shut your mouth. She said Morgan disrespected her and disrespected Nikki. Sky was ready to fight her. Morgan only wanted to do it if the title was on the line. Morgan said that she never got the title match or rematch that she deserved. Morgan accused Sky of being scared and invited her to just hand over the belt. Sky told Morgan, "You didn't earn it, so why should I give it to you?" Morgan's like, "Okay, then I can steal it from you." Just like, or no, she then asked Morgan, "Are you going to try and steal it from me like you stole Dirty Dom?" I laughed so hard at that line. Dom then said Sky should just give Morgan whatever she wants. So Io's like, "Okay, here, take the belt." And she throws it at Liv. So Liv catches it and kind of like goes, "Oh, crap." And then boom, gets drop kicked. Drop kicked right out of the ring. Io then kicks Dom and the segment ends. Not a bad opening segment. Could have been better. It was a little kind of meh, but it was good. And it felt like we were building potentially maybe even at Night of Champions to a Liv Io match for the belt. But now that Liv's injured and the Night of Champions is a week and a half away, I don't see that happening now. What are your thoughts on all this?
I mean, it was definitely a good opening segment, but now it's like, well, the thing is, Io needs an opponent. She hasn't really defended the belt in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of needs to defend it at Night.
She hasn't defended the belt since Mania, I believe.
Yeah, that's
2 months ago.
It's a long time.
Like, I'm pulling up her cage match really fast to see. Also, what's the score of that basketball game?
It's over.
Who won?
KC won.
Nice.
120 to 109, I believe.
Damn.
So now they're up 3-2. If they win the next game, they win the championship.
Everyone gonna go crazy here because, like, as soon as they made the finals, Walmart put out all their Oklahoma City Thunder stuff. Like the Buffalo Wild Wings had a big sign, "Watch all OKC games here." So yeah,
I kind of want the Pacers to win, honestly.
Well, so would I, because I'm a bigger Halliburton fan than anybody on OKC.
Honestly, I just can't stand SGA. I feel like this game is just too annoying.
You're not wrong there, but looking at Io's, Io's only had 4 matches Wow. Io's only had 4 matches since WrestleMania. 2 were tag matches. One of those tag matches were on NXT. And then she had the Stephanie Vicure Raw match that went to a no contest. And then she defeated Roxanne in a 10-minute match. So, yeah. Very interesting. So, speaking of Stephanie Vicure, they showed her ahead of a commercial break. Chad Gable then cut a promo on Ivy Niles' behalf during the break ahead of the Queen of the Ring first round match. Backstage, Morgan told Rodriguez, go win your match. Then they would take care of Sky and Sane later. So it's like they were building something here. I really think that we were going to get, like, soon an Io Liv match. And, like, if Liv was supposed to work the Bellas at Evolution, then this Io match was probably for Night of Champions in the week and a half.
Yeah, it would have made sense because
Exactly.
like it could have been something to like if Liv lost, it could have been one where Liv gets another title shot, but she loses.
Like
Maybe like
I was gonna say maybe this Bella's screw her, but I don't see the Bellas going to Saudi.
or maybe Roxanne tries to help but accidentally screws her over.
Oh, that would make total sense. But Esports Gaming Rules with a bit donation. He says, Liv is injured and her match with the Bella twins is in jeopardy. And I don't blame Kairi and Asuka back on her 21st anniversary in pro wrestling. So first off, you can't blame anybody for the Liv injury. Kairi Sane gave her a standard normal drop toe hold. Liv went down to brace it. And I don't know if Liv just came down too hard. She was just kind of off kilter or what. But she came down and you can see that Liv knew immediately that she was hurt. Immediately. You see the look on her face and she screamed because she knew she was hurt.
Yeah, that did not look like it was so I'm looking for selling an injury. That looked real.
Exactly.
And like poor Liv, like injuries suck, man. Like especially during the worst times. Like I remember when Finn got hurt, it was just terrible. I was like, jeez.
Hey, at least that fucker pulled it back into socket and finished the match.
But like those type of injuries though, like you can be like,
go for it.
That kind of like made WWE hesitant of wanting to put the title back on him because they're like, well, we like Finn, but he gets hurt a lot, and that injury kind of proved it.
Here's my thing. Now thinking about it, you think he could have? No. So remember when, and I said it earlier, they went in and the injury was worse than they expected and so forth with the surgery. You think maybe when he popped it back in and kept going, he maybe did more damage? I don't know.
Probably.
Because unlike the Cody one,
so.
Unlike the Cody injury where he worked on it, they basically told him that is the worst that injury can get. It can't get any worse. Do what you want.
Yeah, I remember the Cody one. They said like, it was like completely torn off the bone, and if it's completely torn off the bone, you can't do any further damage to it.
No,
I mean, you're gonna be in a lot of pain, but like you just can't do any damage to it.
The only thing that could have happened in that match was like the arm gives out on Cody, and then you can't use the arm. Like that was the only thing. Like if for some reason he started losing strength or something where the arm he couldn't have mobility, but luckily he was able to get through it. But he also says, Cody, go for it.
I remember Cody was saying like he was really pissed off that he injured himself during that time.
Right.
It's like he hurt himself just lifting.
Oh yeah. Well, no, not just lifting though. He was trying to show off and lift heavier than some other guy in the gym or whatever it was. That's what he said.
He was just like, and he's like really pissed off.
And then he said his big mistake was he went in there and tried lifting in flip flops.
Okay, that's just stupid.
I'm pretty sure I remember hearing him say that. He goes, one of the dumb things was I went in there wearing flip flops or something like that. I could be wrong and heard wrong, but hold on.
Who lifts in flip flops? That's stupid.
Well, because he was going to his gym at the school, and so he was just whatever. You know what I mean? It's not like he was at a regular gym. He was at his, he was training and working out at his school. Oh, I'm gonna look this up. See if I remember this correctly. Cody Rhodes' shocking story. Yeah, he said it was on the Impulsive podcast. The stupid thing was I've been wrestling since I was 15. Is when I started pro training. No injuries. I felt bulletproof. Walked into the gym, flip-flops on. Flip-flops in the gym, Bad sign. One cup of coffee, got on a bench, put on 295, didn't even warm up, was going for 4. The dude on the other side of the gym, testosterone, just me and the other dude. I have no idea who the man is. I don't know why they're grimacing at me. I'm grimacing at him now. The plot thickens. He's doing his full CrossFit routine. He's taking up the whole jungle gym, and it's just me and him in there. I'm going to show you, dude. I just unrack it, and I went right away, and I felt it. I didn't need to kick the weights off. They flew off. Then the dude who I was having the moment with runs over. Hey, man, are you okay? Maybe he wasn't at his gym, because that doesn't sound like being at his gym. For some reason, I thought he said something once that he injured himself at his gym, but maybe not. But regardless.
It was probably just one of those like gyms he went to while he was traveling.
Right. But regardless. Well, no, he was at home. Like, he was in Atlanta when the injury happened. I know that. But regardless, like, go in there flip-flops and just like not even thinking, just trying to just show off. 295.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Geez, I remember deadlifting that in high school.
Where was I? So moving forward, we had our first Queen of the Ring. First, go for it.
I think there was more to the.
Oh, yes, there was. Yeah.
mentioned?
Thank you. He had asked about Goldberg. He said Goldberg's back for one last ride, and thank Triple H. His last match is not in Saudi; it's in Atlanta. As many reports say, it could go head to head with AEW All in Texas. So yes and no, most likely no. So what happened was, AEW goes out here and says, we're going to put on another All In 2025, biggest show of the year, and it's going to be on July 12th. Well, what does WWE do? They go to NBC and say, hey, July 12th, let's do a Saturday Night's Main Event on July 12th up against these guys. What does Tony do? Tony pivots and says, we're not changing the date, but we'll run earlier in the day. So that's why All In is starting so early, because they did not want to go head to head with Saturday Night's Main Event. So WWE is now doing a Great American Bash show at the same time of All In. Now, here's the thing. I feel that depending on how long All In goes, the last little bit of All In, maybe even the last hour, could go up against like the first hour of Saturday Night's Main Event, or at least the first half hour. I think there could be slight overlapping. And I think because of that, that's how WWE, like, I think WWE is going to have, like, they're going to know what matches they're doing, but until they go on the air, they may not know what they're going to put on first until they realize how much they are or are not going up head to head with AEW. Like, I feel like if the show is going up against AEW, like if Saturday Night's Main Event starts and either A, Moxley and Hangman are still in the ring, or Moxley and Hangman haven't started yet, Gunther Goldberg goes on first. I think there's a chance Gunther Goldberg opens Saturday Night's Main Event. But no, that show is not going, quote unquote, head to head, because Tony kind of tried to combat that. And also, Muscle Man with a bit donation says, is Damage Control officially over in WWE? Also, could it be Asuka versus Io at SummerSlam? Finally, why is Luke always in different spots every Monday?
Okay. First of all, you're the first person to actually recognize that.
Right? Exactly.
And second, last week I had a week off work, so I was just back home visiting my family. So sometimes I'm back home visiting my family, sometimes I'm back here because I got work going on. But anyway, that's basically why I'm kind of back and forth. You are the first person to actually recognize that.
So as far as the first part of his question, it's not going to be Asuka Io at SummerSlam because Jade's winning this whole tournament. Because the plan I think they should do, and this is me fantasy booking, but other people have said this as well, I think Jade should win the belt and Naomi immediately cashes in on her. And then we could really get that Naomi Jade feud going for the title.
Origin would be interesting, actually.
What's up?
If let's say the finals is Asuka versus Jade, and Jade's about to win, then all of a sudden Naomi screws her over, Asuka wins, and then when there's a moment where like Naomi's about to cash in, but Jade screws her over and has a failed cash in.
I mean, we haven't seen a woman fail yet. Chelsea Green was on a podcast recently and said she wants to win Money in the Bank just to be the first female to fail. I'm like, hey, it would work.
It could have happened last year, but Tiffany got it and it worked out fine for her.
Yep. But regardless, I think the finals will probably be, now looking at what we know, it's Roxanne and Jade, Alexa and Asuka. I think Asuka beats Alexa, Jade beats Roxanne, and then we go Jade, Asuka in the finals. I think Jade wins it. I think Jade wins. And then it's Jade.
I mean, Jade wearing the crown would be a lot nicer.
Yeah, and then it's Jade and
It would
Tiffany.
look cooler.
Jade and Tiffany at SummerSlam. Jade wins immediately. Like Jade and Tiffany, and then immediately Naomi comes out and cashes in.
So you think we can get 2 cash-ins at SummerSlam then?
Not anymore. I thought we can get that Seth cash in if Jay was still the champion, but not anymore. I think they saved and wait on Seth now.
I think here's what I think could happen. Jay wins the King of the Ring tournament.
Right.
It's a rematch against Gunther. Jay wins, and then Seth immediately cashes in.
Now that is possible, but then I don't think they would do that twice in the same night. And also, here's the other thing you got to look at. Go for it.
Never mind. Never mind.
So since they've implemented the woman's briefcase, it's been really like one person gets a kind of shorter but not long run with the briefcase, and then the other person, whether that's the male or the female, gets the long haul of the briefcase. We haven't seen a Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank cash in like close to each other, really, that I can think of. Like, am I thinking wrong?
No, not necessarily.
So it's like if the man cashes in early, the woman holds for a while. If the woman cashes in early, which it usually is, then the man holds for a little while. So
who won the women's briefcase the year Damian Priest won? It was Io Sky.
It was Io, yeah.
It was Io cashed in. Io cashed in during SummerSlam that year, and Damian cashed in
Mania.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, big gap between. So
no, because I was actually kind of thinking, instead of Jay winning, like let's say, what if it was Sammy who won?
No, it's got to be Cody. It's got to be Cody, and we go Cody and Cena rematch from WrestleMania.
Well, let's say Sammy gets a shot against Gunther, and then nobody wins that match, and then like it's just like during the match, that's when Seth cashes in. Kind of like he's repeating his Mania cash, and he cashes in like during the match.
I mean, I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that at all.
Because that's when like he can be like he ruined Sammy's chances of winning the world title.
Jordan, no, I don't think that Naomi cashes in on Tiffany. I think Jade wins Money in the Bank. Jade beats Tiffany at SummerSlam, and then Naomi cashes in on Jade. That's my prediction. So, bam, somebody out there hot dogging it. Anyways, yeah, that's my whole thing. I think Jade wins. Jade wins King of the Ring, wins the belt from Tiffany, and then Naomi cashes in. And then we get a big Jade Naomi feud over the belt.
I don't know. I feel like this tournament could really go either way. I could totally just see Jay beating Cody. I mean,
I don't know. I feel like Cody's winning and they're doing the WrestleMania rematch at SummerSlam.
But here's the thing though. Like, I feel like if Jay lost, now people are gonna think like, oh, now what does WWE do with Jay? Because I feel like even if Cody lost, I don't think it's really gonna affect Cody because Cody's already a big enough name to where if you beat him in this tournament, he can still bounce back.
Both WrestleVotes and Meltzer in The Observer said that the plan by the end of the year is the Usos back together. So,
because Jimmy's kind of getting lost in the shuffle.
Maybe, I don't know why, but that's a plan that they have. They want the Usos back together eventually in 2025. Also, Elite says Jade beating Tiffany would be crazy. Hey, you know what's even crazier is that Jade was supposed to beat Tiffany before the end of 2024 for the belt. Jade was supposed to be the champion going into this year's WrestleMania and defending against Nia Jax at one point. That was written on the big board as planned. And then they did the Jade Naomi stuff because Jade legit got hurt and they had to course correct. And Tiffany got to keep the belt. So think about that one, guy. They're just finally getting back to where they wanted to be what, 6, 7, 8 months ago? Because we don't know exactly when that big board was written. I think it was November, December time, but we don't know. But regardless, at one point, and we've already seen the proof of it, Jade was supposed to be the women's champion defending at WrestleMania against Nia Jax. So to say that that's crazy, it's not crazy when at one point within the last year, it was the plan. Anywho, as far as this Queen of the Ring match, it was Ivy Nile, Asuka, Stephanie Vicure, Raquel Rodriguez. Asuka got her old music back. Asuka's also got a new mask, and she added extra face paint down the neck and onto the chest and stuff, which is really cool. Body paint, whatever you want to call it.
I think you forgot. Oh yeah, speaking of Asuka, I think you forgot to answer part of Muscle Man's question. Is damage control officially over in WWE?
Oh, yeah, that's kind of why they let Dakota Kai go. Because, and like, I saw Fightful put out a report on this, but it's not new news because basically it's already been reported that one of the factors that led to Dakota Kai being let go was that they didn't see anything with her as a singles, and they felt that damage control ran its course. So if they felt damage control ran its course, that means damage control is kind of quietly disbanded, and they just didn't see anywhere for her if, what's the word I'm looking for? If there was no damage control. So, yeah.
Jeez,
we kind of already knew that one. That's just like everyone running with what Dave said last night about SmackDown. We already know that because it was reported like 3 weeks ago. SmackDown's not going back to 3 hours anytime soon, and it's all on what USA wants. So Dave said the same thing last night, and like every website ran with it as new, but it wasn't new because Dave literally just said the same thing that was said about 3 weeks ago by, I think, him and Brian. That's my one big gripe with aggregating. Like, I aggregate news, but I don't aggregate everything, especially if it's not anything new or any new information, and that wasn't. And here's the other thing, and I'm going to get off my high horse here in a second. A lot of people aggregate and don't even listen. Like, they go, oh, well, so-and-so reported that Dave said this, and then they just throw it up on their website or their Twitter or something without even listening to the podcast, listening to what Dave actually said, or a Sean Ross Sapp podcast or whatever. So it's like, no, go back and listen and hear the full conversation. Because then you'll realize, oh, that's the same thing that he said 3 weeks ago. Nothing different at all. Only info Dave gave that's different was if they go back to 2 hours, then whatever they put in that third hour is going to significantly drop in the ratings. Because SmackDown being 3 hours, the third hour is going to do like 3 times the ratings that any other show they put in that spot is going to do, any other rerun. So it's also why I'm scared of 4-hour AEWs, because these extra hours are doing way better than any Modern Family or Impractical Jokers rerun is done after a Dynamite. So it's like, if they're actually seeing good with the 4 hours, that's not good.
Well, okay, here's the thing. TBS is mainly just known for those Practical Jokers and Modern Family reruns. That's what they're mainly known for. And Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
So, like, most viewers they really get is from AEW. So,
well, I mean, TBS needs something now because they're no, they still got baseball. They didn't lose baseball. TNT lost basketball. TNT is getting NASCAR starting in 2 weeks for the summer. But it's like they need some stuff because they're kind of losing some big hitters.
Right.
But as far as this match does go, Asuka and Vicure had a brief little exchange early on, but was interrupted by the heels. Rodriguez performed powerbombed Asuka into Vicure and Nile, which led to a break about 90 seconds in. When we come back from the break, the crowd was kind of quiet, and things were moving a little slow. And then here's my one thing with Stephanie Vicure. I think they've trained her up a little too much at that PC, because she did the Devil's Kiss 3 times, and every single time she's got to stop, look at the crowd, like she kind of like does a little head thing, and then go the finger, and then does the move. All 3 times she did it. All 3 times. It's like they've trained her. You gotta get the thing in for the hard cam. Don't forget to get the look at the hard cam. And then every time. Like she does the thing, finger up, smile, and then she does the move. What I liked was she goes for the devil's kiss the first time. And I forgot to mention also, Corey Graves was on commentary tonight. It was hella cool to see. But Michael Cole goes, Corey, can you be like Booker? He goes, I'm not even going to try, Cole. I'm not even going to try. Because, like, McAfee's tried. I think Wade tried for, like, he did, like, 2 last week. It was like, never mind. He's like, oh, nope. Anyways. So she does the devil's kiss on Ivy Nile. Gets it. Okay. Raquel breaks it up. Then she goes to do the devil's kiss on Raquel. But she's got to do the thing that, and then go for it. But Raquel's too big and too strong. She blocks it, puts her in an electric chair position. Then she sits on her shoulders for a while, and this gets a little contrived. And then she eventually tries to Hurricane Rana her out of the ring, and it's a whole thing. And then they're fighting on the outside. And she gets her on the apron, and she does it on the apron. But before, she's got a smile, the whole thing. Anyways, Vakira then blocks an Asuka lock attempt at one point, and Niles kicked her in the face. Niall gave Asuka a German suplex for her too. This led to the match's second commercial break, just about 8 minutes in. As they also, I don't know, did they say why Pat wasn't there? Because Pat did his, I didn't watch Pat's show, but I did see that he was just in his studio. It's not
I
like,
don't know why Pat wasn't there.
it's not like he was somewhere on location. He was just in Indianapolis, from what I saw. It's not like sometimes when you go on YouTube's homepage, and like if you hover over a video, it'll start playing some of it with no audio on like a computer.
Hold on, why was Adam Pearce not there?
Oh, that I don't know either. Because yesterday he was freaking announcing stuff on Twitter. So I don't know either.
Because I saw Nick Aldis like calling the shots, and I was like, where the heck is Adam Pearce?
Randomly, all of a sudden, Nick Aldis is in the back with AJ and then with Bayley. I'm like, what the fuck? Where'd he come from? Where's Pierce? But oh well. But Vakira, like I said, go for it.
I keep seeing this stuff on Twitter about Nick Aldis. Do you think he's eventually going to wrestle in WWE, like soon?
I think he should have at least one match. I don't know if and when, but I think they should give him at least one match. I think it would be great if he had one match.
Give him versus Randy.
I mean, they've kind of planted the seeds. I don't think they would do it.
Nick Aldis multiple times,
right? And that's the only way I can see them doing babyface. It's just, it works. But like, if for some reason Nick could go heel, I'd love for him and Cody. Him and Cody have had 2 great matches for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, and I'd love to see them fight it again in WWE. But no, I think before all is said and done, I would love that if he can at least get one WWE match. Doesn't even have to be at a Mania. Do it at a SummerSlam. Do it at a freaking, I don't know, Survivor Series.
Saturday night's main event.
Sure. You got a show coming up, Clash in Paris. You got a show in the UK, Clash in Paris.
Ooh, Clash in Paris. That would be good.
Just saying.
I like Nick Aldis as a wrestler, but he's also he's also pretty good as a GM.
Oh no, he's fantastic in his role. Like one of the better that they've had. But I also love him as a wrestler. So, anyways,
I mean,
go for
it. If they wanted him as a wrestler, they could always replace him with Regal. Bring Regal back on TV.
All games.
Yeah, give us that. Yeah, he's been in WWE for a while now. Give us that back. Give us War Games.
They did it for social media last year.
It did?
Yeah, there was a whole thing about it on Twitter and Instagram with Regal saying War Games.
Oh, was it him saying War Games like he did like in the past?
Yeah. Like they literally did. He's like, tonight is Survivor Series War Games or something. I don't remember exactly, but there was a video before last year's Survivor Series of him saying War Games. But yeah, no, Regal's good to be on TV. He's been on NXT with his son, doing the whole no quarter catch stuff when he was feuding with Lexis King.
Yeah, he basically cost Charlie Dempsey the cup.
Yep.
Or the no.
Kid Vicious says, I thought Clash in Paris was in Paris, France. Yeah, and that's still overseas, across the pond. So put Nick Aldis in a match across the pond in front of his people. You know what I mean? Is Paris not UK? Regardless, it's not like, hey, mom, dad, if like, I'm pretty sure his parents are still over there. It's like, hey, you don't got to come to America to see me have a match in WWE. We'll come do it for you. Regardless.
I mean, I'm also curious to see what the matches are going to look like for Clash in Paris. I assume Cena will have a match.
Oh, 100%.
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, there's no way they don't have Cena work that show. I think Cena is on. I think Cena works every PLE going forward.
Well, wasn't there like a segment like last Friday or that they were counting down the days of Cena has left in WWE?
Yeah, it's like 18, 19. Also, Cena is on the poster and on the website as a featured superstar for Clash in Paris.
Yeah, like 19 days. I'm like, holy crap. That's not that many days.
And they're using one for him and Truth next week.
Really?
Or this week. It's Truth and Cena on SmackDown. So, yeah.
They're kind of, I feel like they're wasting some of these days.
I would agree. And then it's like, okay, he's got to be, so he's going to be on SmackDown this week. He's got to be on either Raw or SmackDown next week for the go home with Punk for their title match, United Champions. So it's like, he's going to work every week this month. I think the month of July or June, we're going to see Cena at least once a week. And next week, we see him twice. There's no way
think he works Atlanta.
Huh?
Do you think he works the Saturday Night's Main Event in Atlanta, Georgia?
Probably, because that's a big market, and so you want to do your last night in Atlanta. You know? Heck, I'll just say it right now. I was told by somebody that is in the know that they pitched AJ versus Cena for Atlanta.
I hate it.
You know, AJ from Georgia. AJ Cena did have a good
matches together.
Exactly. AJ and Cena did have a good little rivalry. So one of Cena's last matches be AJ, and there we go. Dylan, no updates on Liv. We talked about this at the beginning. We don't know anything right now. Other than most likely a dislocated shoulder. Other than that, there's nothing to know. SmackDown July 4th will be pre-taped, right? As of right now, that's what it's looking like. And I think Pittsburgh did officially, the PPG Paints Arena, I think they officially announced that as such as well. So I think where is it? The June 30th Raw is a double taping. They'll be filming a Raw and a SmackDown on that night. Which that's going to be a long night if we're still doing 3-hour SmackDowns. 2.5 hour Raw, then a 3-hour SmackDown. Oof. But back to this match that we haven't even figured into. We haven't even finished one match yet. Anyways, we're getting off topic. Anyways, Victoria invited Asuka to her feet after she blocked an Asuka lock. Asuka no-sold Victoria strikes, so Victoria responded with repeated headbutts and a vertical suplex. Victoria then hit a facebuster, but now broke up the pin. At one point, Raquel booted Victoria and gave her a Tejano bomb. You can see that she was going to be yanked out of the ring because the way she went for the pin, she like had one leg sticking kind of farther back than the other. So it's like, oh, something's going to happen. And then Rhea comes and yanks her out of the ring. Rhea then gives her not one, but 2 riptides on the floor. This allows Asuka to hit a running hip attack on Rodriguez when she's thrown back into the ring. And there we go. She pins her and picks up the victory. So Asuka moves on to the next round and will face Alexa Bliss Friday on SmackDown in round 2 of the Queen of the Ring tournament. Afterwards, she's interviewed by Kathy Kelly and basically just says, I'm back and nobody is ready for Asuka. Any thoughts?
Asuka's back.
Right.
I mean, I'm curious to see what they actually do with her now.
Who, Asuka?
Because now that damage control is done, now it's like, now what do you do? Just Kabuki Warriors again?
I mean, I wouldn't hate it. Have them go for the tag titles, or have her fight like if Becky retains the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Bayley next week. Give me Becky and Asuka for that IC title.
Wouldn't hate it. I mean, the reason why I say Kabuki Warriors because I feel like Kairi Sane might be lost in the shuffle now that Damage Control is done.
Yeah, that's why the Kabuki Warriors does make the most sense.
I feel like Kairi Sane is probably going to be the ones that could be suffering the most out of Damage Control being done, which
well, technically
really
it was
her is mainly,
technically Dakota, but
it was technically Dakota, but
I get what you're saying.
But right now in WWE, it's probably will be Kairi next.
But anyways, there was a Jey Uso Gunther recap video. They say Gunther's coming out next. New Day cut a promo. Basically, it's like, we're in Title Town, but you guys never have titles. We have titles. We're champions. Ha ha ha. And then like Woods was dressed like a pimp. And so Michael Cole brought up, you know, the real Godfather. He was in a car accident last week. But he says he's okay, so that's good to hear. I'm like, oh, damn. Okay.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah. Godfather posted that he was in a car accident. Like I think he said the car rolled 3 times, but he's fine.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, he had like a wet patch on the road or something. Out in West Virginia.
Those wet patches, man. They're annoying.
West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. So, Liv Morgan approaches Raquel Rodriguez in the locker room, the Judgment Day's clubhouse. And she was like, hey, let's go. I got my match coming up. I want you out there with me. And Raquel's all like hurting. And she's like, I can't. I haven't been cleared by medical to be out there. I'm like, what? What? You took a riptide on the floor and all of a sudden you're not cleared? Also, what kind of timing is that to talk about, I'm not cleared, I can't come out for your match, and then Liv get injured? A fake not cleared for now a real not cleared.
Right.
Anyways, there was the Liv's like, screw it, I'm gonna go deal this with myself, and Dom's like, hold on, I'll come with, and Finn's like, no, leave her be. And this is kind of weird, but then the crowd started chanting, and yeah, Balor then said something about Rodriguez not having to worry about Liv. Roxanne's here, and I don't know. A lot of foreshadowing for what wasn't supposed to come. Like they kind of teased Roxanne and Raquel becoming a thing, and now, you know, with Liv out potentially, I just don't know. Weird stuff. Then we got the new World Heavyweight Champion. Gunther comes down to the ring, stands in the center of the ring, and he gives a big old fireworks display. Gunther then says that he was man enough to admit that Jey Uso was the better man at WrestleMania. Jey was better than him for one night only. But on every other night, Gunther was untouchable. Gunther had heard the rumors of what could be next. And the fans start chanting for Goldberg. Gunther said it wasn't Goldberg because he already cussed out Goldberg in front of his family. Gunther spoke about Seth Rollins. He heard Rollins say that the champion is his target. And so he said, Rollins, I'm right here. You want to come cash in on me? Nope. Out comes Goldberg. Bill Goldberg comes down to the ring. They're calling this Goldberg's last ride. You know, Goldberg, a big car guy. So last ride, he's got some new T-shirts, like the one he was wearing tonight. And he comes down to the ring and the fans are chanting, Goldberg, Goldberg. He gets in the ring and he thanks the crowd for the reactions. Goldberg then told Gunther not to worry because tonight is his night. Goldberg congratulated him on being the champ and winning the belt. Goldberg then got in his face and recalled what happened between them last time they met. Gunther stated that something with him and his family in Atlanta. So what? You want to end this in Atlanta? Goldberg said, yes. Saturday night's main event. July 12th. You're mine because you're next. And then Gunther kind of was just like, fuck this guy, and left. He was all perturbed and mad. Moment ruined. There we go. So it is official with the god dang title on the line. I don't know why. Gunther and Goldberg in Goldberg's final match.
Apparently that's what Triple H wanted, and that's why Jay lost the belt, because they wanted Goldberg versus Gunther for the belt.
But for what? Is Gunther going to win? Gunther don't. Here's my thing. If Goldberg wins and then just vacates the belt or leaves with the belt and they got to crown a new champion, doesn't that hurt the John Cena storyline of doing the same thing?
Yeah.
Exactly. So is Goldberg really agreeing to go out and lose in his last match? That don't sound like a Goldberg thing. That don't sound like a Goldberg thing to do.
Unless they really want Gunther to feel like really strong by beating the legend like Goldberg in his final match.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know. I don't know why this needs a title. Like why you couldn't have waited to put the title back on Gunther. You know what I mean?
There was a lot of people that kept saying Jay had too short of a run with the belt.
I think it was fine. Trust me. If I was Jay, I'd be so mad at my dad. Did you hear all that shit Rikishi was spewing?
Rikishi says that about.
Rikishi basically said whoever was writing for his son during his title reign should be fired because he couldn't come up with anything good for his boy to do as the champion. It was like whoever the writer is should be fired for not coming up with good ideas for Jay during his title reign. I'm like, what? What? I would be like, Dad, you need to shut up and stop talking about me on your podcast. So
yeah. Well, to be fair, I mean, you want what's best for your kids and you want your kids to succeed. So I get where he's coming from, but at the same time, but like, don't be saying that stuff.
I get that, but then also don't be dissing the company that your son is working for, saying that the writers should be fired. Like it's one thing. It's one thing to be like, you know, my boy was the champion. I feel like he should have held the title longer. I'm a little disappointed in that. But to be like, the company sucks. They can't come up with any good ideas. Fire who's his writer. Like that. Well, what? That's my whole.
Also, Rikishi's on a Legends deal, so
right.
So like, come on, dude. Like WWE pays you, like, be in the video game or whatever.
Well, I think a Legends deal is roughly about $10,000 a year. To whenever WWE wants you to do something, you do it for them. And then, yeah, they put you in the video game and you're on the trading. They'll make like trading cards and potential figures with your likeness. Basically, a Legends deal is we're going to give you $10,000 and we're going to be able to use your likeness however we want. And if we need you, we want you to come to a show, be in the crowd, do an appearance. You're probably going to do that too. You know, so like, don't ask Rikishi to do any of that stuff.
Or like if they make figures.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They give you like a cut. They give you like a cut at least.
Yeah, no. They don't have to work out like a new deal. He's just a standard, whatever the Legends deal rate is for the what's it called? The royalties. So, but I think what it is like
really $10,000 a year. That's it.
I mean, what are you really doing? But what are you really doing? You're not working for the company. They're just able to use you and your likeness, and you can't sue them for using your likeness. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to be something. It's not supposed to be something where you can live off and not have to have another income.
Which, to be fair, you also get to do like signings outside of WWE as well.
Right. And then I think they still get royalty checks. Like if WWE makes figures with their face on it, or, you know, of them, or if they create merch of them, they'll probably still get royalty checks as well.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, those, like, if you're like on a Legends deal and you're doing like a signing at like a StarCast or a WrestleCon, do you know how many more people would be lined up in your lines?
WrestleCon, maybe. StarCast, I bet you they would tell anybody on a Legends deal no StarCast because it's linked to AEW. I could see that. I could see nobody on a Legends deal allowed to do, and I haven't heard this, so no, I'm not reporting this, but I can see WWE going, oh, you're on a Legends deal? You want to work StarCast? No. Why do you think Undertaker signed a 15-year deal with WWE? Because they wanted him to do StarCast. They announced him for StarCast. And WWE goes, how about we pay you all the way till 2035 to not do anything that we don't want you to do? Because I think it was, they wanted him to do StarCast, and Conrad was trying to get him to do a podcast for him. And WWE's like, no, that guy's too closely linked to AEW. So So we'll sign you to a 15-year contract.
Geez, I bet Conrad's probably pissed that these WWE legends won't do StarCast if WWE tells him no.
I don't know this because I haven't heard him say it. Maybe he did and I just missed it. But I mean, like, Undertaker was announced for StarCast. There was a graphic and everything. Undertaker at StarCast.
I remember that.
Yeah. So.
But like, I'm trying to think, like, well, I haven't really looked at the StarCast Instagram to see who all is announced so far.
All I've seen so far are AEW guys.
Or like just regular indies.
It's
mainly just regular.
I can tell you right
Tito
here.
Santana.
He's not under a Legends deal that I know of. Let's see. We've got
Aragon.
So we've got
Bold Nakano.
Bull Nakano. She's a Hall of Famer, but I don't think she's under a Legends deal. But we got RJ City and Renee Paquette doing something. Wrestle Ants, Brunch and Variety Show. Okay.
The Hurt Syndicate. They got MJF in that graphic. Oh, God. They're going to have MJF at their table doing signings as well.
Well, whatever they're doing, with Hurt Syndicate, because he's part of the group. Like Bryan Danielson, photo op and panel. So they're going to be doing some sort of a talk with Bryan Danielson. John Moxley. Who else? Let's see. I'm just going through the Twitter really fast. Shotzi.
I'm just going through the Instagram.
Shotzi, FTR.
Elena Black, Cora Jade.
Priscilla Kelly. Maybe not, because she blew out her knee in her first indie match with her husband. The Costco guys will be at StarCast. Do you want to see the Costco guys?
No.
Kira Hogan, AEW wrestler. Brian Keith, AEW wrestler. Big Bill, AEW wrestler.
I want to go back to another wrestling convention. WrestleCon was honestly so much fun.
Right.
I want to go back to another one, but there's never any in my area.
See, the StarCast I went to was fun, but I had a different experience than like fans are going to have because we were there as media.
I mean, the one I went to, we saw the Ric Flair roast and the New Japan Music City Mayhem show.
You had to pay extra to go into those things, right? You had to have a ticket
for the Ric Flair roast. We did not have to pay extra.
Okay, see, with StarCast,
I had a platinum bracelet, so they said if you had a platinum bracelet, you get it for free.
Gotcha. See, with StarCast, it's like you want to go into see the Sting show, you got to pay a ticket for that. You want to go to the Taz thing, you got to have a ticket for that. For us, because we had media passes, it was literally you're free to just walk around and do whatever you want. Go in.
I got to watch the.
Yeah.
I got to watch the Chris Van Vliet Claudio interview for free because they basically said if you pay to get into StarCast, you basically get to go into these like talk shows for free.
Yeah, like there's things that you can do, but then there's like the premium panels that if you pay extra or have that special wristband you can get into. We didn't need any of that. They were just like media, go into any panel you want, go walk around anywhere you want, record whatever. Yeah.
I know New Japan Music City Mayhem, you had to pay like a separate ticket to watch.
Well, yeah, because that's a New Japan show. But Chris Statlander, AEW, Julia Hart, AEW, Brody King, AEW. So yeah, a lot of AEW people. Not many non-AEW. They are doing a live show with Shotzi.
They probably won't even let TNA talent do any.
That's a good thing.
I don't know if they let TNA.
I didn't think about that. I don't know. Monty Brown, well, he's not an AEW guy. Ric Flair.
Technically signed to AEW, I think.
Maybe. I don't know what's going on with that.
Is he even on a Legends deal with WWE? I don't even know.
No.
Okay. This was actually a fun fact. I actually got to during WrestleCon. I didn't even think about this. I met TNA and AEW World Champion during WrestleCon, Joe Hendry and Mox.
Nice.
I didn't even think about that.
But yeah. I don't know if I'm going yet. I'm playing it by ear because it's literally the weekend. My son's birthday is that Friday. So
take him with you.
But if I get media passes, then he can't go in and do the things that you know what I mean? Like if they give me a media pass to All In, then I get him a ticket. He's got to go sit by himself. You know what I'm saying?
I would at least applied for Media Pass for All In yet?
Oh yeah, but it's so far out that they haven't told anybody yet. So we'll see about all that. But moving forward, we had AJ Styles versus JD McDonagh to basically set up AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship at a Night of Champions. Dom came out with JD. He helped JD get a rope break as Styles held onto a calf crusher. So Styles chased Dom around the ring. Styles at one point fought back after a commercial break, but McDonagh cut him off with a headbutt and a brainbuster for a 2. Styles then knocked McDonagh off the ropes, but was distracted by Old Dirty Dom, who hopped up on the apron in front of AJ and the referee. McDonagh then tried to use this distraction to his advantage, but Styles hit him with a Styles Clash and pinned him. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Afterwards, Dom tried attacking AJ, but it was to no avail. AJ got the better of it. Finn came out and saved Dom. AJ then left with Dom's title and said, "This is going to be mine soon." And there we go. Not bad. A little 10, 12 minutes. What'd you think?
Not bad match. I mean, yeah, it wasn't bad.
Then Maxine Dupree, Natalya, and Tozawa walk up to Sheamus, and they just wanted to give him words of encouragement before his upcoming King of the Ring match. And then Tozawa was basically telling him, take care of Rusev. And then he also said, how's Otis doing? They're like, Otis is doing great. He'll be back soon. Like, what? Where has Otis been? Is like he legit injured or something? Like, he had that match with Rusev and then just disappeared. Tozawa had a match. Tozawa had a match with Rusev, and he's still here. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless they're just having like Otis like sell an injury or something. I don't know.
Wouldn't you think then at the same time Tozawa? Because he's a smaller guy that got beat up by Rusev?
Unless they just feel like, unless they're going the route of like Tozawa was saved by Sheamus.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they're just going that route.
Maybe.
And Otis wasn't really necessarily saved by Sheamus.
Maybe. So moving forward, Bayley comes down to the ring. She says she missed the fans and is happy to be back. We get "Let's Go Bayley" chants. Bayley revealed that in every opportunity she will go for it. What?
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Like, did you see that interview with Bayley that she did with Chris Van Vliet?
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel like that interview, like people were saying like, oh, she's basically pulling another Mercedes Moné? Or do you feel like that she's going to be out, like just out longer because of that?
No. Now, I get where people would think that. And it's only because and they're only thinking that because she's friends with Mercedes. Well, what it is Bayley was just like, yeah, I'm not given all the opportunities I feel I should. My contract's up soon, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Because she said her contract's up next year. She doesn't know what she's going to do. She doesn't know and whatnot. And it's just like, oh, she's not gonna do what Mercedes did. She's not just gonna walk away. She's not gonna do what no. She's gonna be a team player and do what's asked of her.
I mean, well, for starters, she won the Royal Rumble and won a title at Mania. So,
exactly.
Like, at that point, you're just being greedy. Come on.
Yeah. But also, Mercedes got the main event WrestleMania. She still threw a fit.
Mercedes did?
Her and Bianca were the first night one main event. And she threw a fit. I don't want to work Ronda. I don't think we should be working Ronda. I don't want to lose to Ronda. Yeah, whatever. Now, but hey, it worked out for Mercedes. Now she's getting paid out the ass because Money Mark Tony is paying her whatever she wanted to sign with him instead of WWE. Because remember, WWE and AEW both gave her an offer at the end of the year, and she took AEW's because Tony offered them more money. So,
I'm pretty sure she only used WWE to try to get more money.
100%. 100% think that's what it was. She only negotiated with WWE just to then say, well, we got a counter offer, Tony. What can you give me? Like, what can you counter WWE? And it's not creative control. She doesn't have creative control in her contract, but I have been told that Tony will not tell her no. So it's not that she has creative control. It's just that when she wants to do something, Tony won't tell her no.
When does Tony ever tell somebody no?
I mean, look at Rusev. Rusev would tell Tony no, and Tony was just like, okay, you don't have to. Like, literally, he would pitch things to Rusev, and this is not a secret. We know this. He would pitch things to Rusev and say, hey, I want you to do this, and here's the plan I got for you. And Rusev would just be like, it's not going to work for me, brother. And so Tony would be like, okay, never mind then. You can stay home and I'll pay you. Like, what?
Yeah, when does Tony ever tell people no?
You're the boss. If you want him to do something, you tell him, hey, this is a storyline. This is what we got for you. Get the fuck work. Just saying.
At least WWE has the balls to tell people, like, you're doing this.
Mm-hmm. Anywho. Bayley said she didn't get to perform at WrestleMania. And that's all because of Becky. If Becky thought that she broke her by costing her a match at Mania, well, she's wrong. It healed her and made her stronger with what she's got to now fight for. Bayley said that Lynch was always 2 steps ahead of her on the ladder, and she admitted that it didn't eat at her. Bayley planned on climbing that ladder, knocking Lynch down, and taking everything that she loves. Lynch then came out. This was perfect. Lynch comes out in Chicago, in Green Bay, wearing Chicago Bears shit. This was perfect. Fans starts chanting, Bears still suck. Bears still suck. And she goes, well, they beat you in the last game. Lynch then said she and Bayley are the same. They were never, either of them were supposed to make it to the top, and they did. But Bayley accepted playing second fiddle, while Lynch doesn't accept to be nothing but the top. Bayley would much rather have friends over her legacy. Lynch would rather have her legacy than some fake-ass friends. Bayley said she's built her own legacy and will one day be a future Hall of Famer. That's why she didn't mind bringing others into the locker room with her and helping them. Lynch says she used to fight for the people, but the fighting stopped, and now she only fights for herself. Lynch said the fans also stopped fighting for Bayley. Nobody gave a damn about Bayley, and I replaced you at WrestleMania. And what happened? They cheered for me, and not you. They didn't care that you weren't there, but that I showed up. Bayley said that Becky is nothing more than an insecure idiot. Lynch was so worried about how the fans would react to her return that she had to take out Bayley so she could return as a big surprise and a savior helping Lyra. Then, what did she do the next night? Took out Lyra. Bayley wondered if Lynch forgot what it's like to fight for opportunities, or if her head was too far up her ass. Lynch smiled, and said that she didn't remember what that was like. She wondered if Bayley remembered what gold felt like. Bayley then said, you know what? How about I challenge you for your gold? Lynch was like, okay, but not here in Green Bay and not for the title. She then says, you know what? I'll see you next week in Columbus. She goes to leave and she turns around and slaps Bayley. So Bayley decks her with the forearm and Becky leaves. Not bad. I thought it was kind of average, but not bad. It was effective and built up to a title match next week. What'd you think?
It was effective, yeah, but also go back to all the Bayley stuff I asked earlier. So is her contract up at the end of the year or just like sometime this year?
Give me 2 seconds and I'll tell you. Bayley's contract is up. I just did a video about contract stuff, so I have it all here on.
I still need to watch that.
If you want, or you just go to pwunlimited.co, click the resources tab, and then go over and find our link that says wrestling contract dates.
I think I did watch it actually, because I saw like Adam Cole's contract is up to like 2027 or 2028.
Bayley's contract is up in late 2026. We do not know when in 2026, but she did confirm in that Chris Van Vliet interview that her contract is up. So she did the Chris Van Vliet interview like the week before Mania, and she had stated there, I've got about a year and a half left. So that'd be late
she ends
26.
up leaving?
I don't think so, but I wouldn't be shocked if she did. If Mercedes were in WWE, then no. But there's just something slightly that I'm like, well, maybe Mercedes gets Tony to give her some sweetheart deal that she can't turn down. And so she at least goes and tries AEW. And then if she likes it or not, then yeah. You know what I mean?
I feel like that'd be some. I feel like that'd be some contract tampering, don't you think? If
No,
Mercedes is like
not at
talking
all.
to Bayley,
As long as Tony or no one in talent relations is directly talking to Bayley, then it's fine. Because it's like, we see all the time where it's like, hey, so and so has made it known, or so and so had it known to them that AEW wants to sign them, or WWE wants Mariah May before her deal's even up. Like they knew, like she knew WWE would sign her because they sent out feelers, possibly to her manager. But you can't talk to the talent directly, but you can talk to the representation, as far as I'm aware of. If I'm wrong, correct me. You can talk to the representation or third party. You can't give an exact, here's what we're going to pay you, here's the contract, here's the deal, boom. But you can give an amalgamation. You can give an estimate. You can say, hey, we want to sign you. Here's maybe what they would have planned, you know, something like that. It's got to be vague, of course. Not like Triple H calling up Swerve and going, hey, I'm in charge now. We want to come back. Or him calling up Regal, you know, Vince ain't here. I want you back working with me. Kind of that kind of
Swerve? Wasn't the Swerve one where Tony kind of took it personal?
Yes. Well, the whole Swerve one was basically they reached out to Swerve directly, and Swerve was just like, you can talk to my representation. I'm not allowed to talk to you. And then he went straight to Tony and told Tony, hey, they reached out to me directly, which legally they can't. So.
And Swerve then came out and said, if WWE wants to talk to me, they can hear from my lawyers.
Well, it was like, I think he's got a manager or something. And he's like, hey, you want to make an offer? You want to do something? Legally, I can't speak to you, but you can talk to whoever represents me. That's what it is. He wasn't going to take it regardless anyways, but he's also not going to take that call any further than I can't talk to you because he knows legally he can't.
I think Swerve is just happy in AEW now.
Well, he was never going to be pushed this big in WWE. You think he'd ever main event WrestleMania? No. Nothing against Swerve. I think Swerve's great. He would never main event WrestleMania, but he main evented their WrestleMania All In against Bryan Danielson in his retirement match. Potential retirement match. We still don't fully know.
He was also their world champion as well.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't see that for Swerve in WWE. I can see him like
that's probably
Ricochet role.
Intercontinental champion.
Yeah, Intercontinental champion a few times. And I'll put you in there with the top guys, but it's because you're going to give them a good match and you're going to lose.
Yeah, that's basically how Ricochet was. Ricochet was viewed as like, or that's like kind of Dakota Kai was.
Oh no, Ricochet more. Ricochet was revered of, we need someone to have a great match. Ricochet can give anybody a great match. Go in there and lose.
He wasn't going to win.
Right.
I wonder who that currently is now. It's probably going to be Ethan Page here pretty soon.
Oh, I don't know. Every time I think he's coming to the main roster, they put a title on him in NXT. Or they do something big with him.
I feel like Shawn Michaels likes him too much where he doesn't want him to go to the main roster.
Right.
It's him and Trick Williams.
But moving forward, we had the Kairi Sane Liv Morgan match where we talked about all this. Liv took a drop toe hold, landed wrong on her right arm, and we think she's got a dislocated shoulder. That's all we know. Nothing more. And then it seems like they told Kairi, hey, stall. So she just starts running around the ring, doing some flips and running the ropes. And yeah, I don't know if you saw any of that because it was during a break, but basically,
What happened?
Did you see Kairi just running around the ring trying to stall for time while they're checking on Liv?
No, I did not see that.
Okay, so if you're watching international Netflix, Michael Cole basically was like, it looks like Liv Morgan's hurt. Like, he addresses it right away. He's like, doctors are checking on Liv. Oh, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. And so Kairi is in the ring, kind of like looking around. And then she kind of like salutes, just a little like, you know, she does like this little salute thing that she does. And then she just starts running the ropes. She's just trying to stall for time. And then they do during the break, they say, Liv Morgan can no longer continue. Your winner, Kairi Sane. So she gets on the top rope. She kind of like salutes the fans, does a backflip off the top rope, runs around, poses again. And then eventually they come back from the break where Michael Cole tells us Liv's injured. But yeah, she runs around the ring for about 3 minutes just trying to stall.
Just being a fan there live and you're just
Right?
watching someone just run the ropes while someone's actually injured.
And it's funny because like she like you could tell she's about to because she like kind of like starts and then all of a sudden she just starts running as fast as she can. Like she's just like 2 or 3 times back. It was funny. It was funny. Unfortunately, you can't. So, unfortunately, I haven't tried this with the international Netflix to go back and watch anything, but I know with regular US Netflix, they take the commercials out. So you can't even like try to go back and see anything that happened during the break. So I don't know if you can like go back now and like record that and like clip it for social media, but I might try.
Maybe.
Then to stall some more time, they played which we probably were going to get this anyways, but I felt like they played it now. I don't know. But we got a John Cena CM Punk video package. Then we go to the back. Sami Zayn's being interviewed. He's interrupted by Karrion Kross. And Sami's just like, hey, I'm kind of tired of your shit, but I'm going to focus on King of the Ring right now. Yet when King of the Ring is over, I am going to Adam Pearce and asking for a match with you because I'm tired of this. And Kross is like, finally, you're standing up for yourself, Sami. That's all I've been asking you to do. And I'd be more than happy to have a match with you. Basically all that happened here. Like he's just basically Karrion Kross sees potential in Sami Zayn and wants to see that fire come out of Sami, so he's going to annoy him until it does, and it finally did, and now he's happy. So after King of the Ring, or after he's out of the tournament or whatever, he says he's going to go to Adam Pearce and ask for a match with Karrion Kross. Are we literally about to finally get a Karrion Kross match on Raw in 2025?
Basically, yeah.
So then they tell us what's going to happen next week. We got Becky Lynch versus Bayley for the Women's IC title. Queen of the Ring semifinal second round match. Jade Cargill versus Roxanne Perez. And the King of the Ring semifinal second round match. Cody Rhodes versus the winner of the main event. Which we now know. Main event, Jey Uso. So moving forward, we'd have our main event match. It was a first round match in the King of the Ring tournament. Jey Uso, Rusev, Sheamus, and Bronson Reed. Paul Heyman came out with Bronson Reed with the briefcase for some reason, which was weird because Seth wasn't there. So why do you need the briefcase? I don't know. But we're wrestling for about a minute and a half. Jey goes for a dive on Rusev. Break. Come back and Reed tossed Sheamus over the barricade. Sheamus emerged doing the 10 beats. Jey then super kicked Sheamus and went for a running hip attack on Reed, but Rusev blocked and knocked down Jey. Jey and Sheamus went back and forth at one point until Sheamus hit a backbreaker. The crowd cheered as Sheamus got Big Bronson on his shoulder and hit a white noise, but Rusev broke up the pin. Rusev then slammed Sheamus onto Reed. Jey then handed out some super kicks, but Rusev blocked a super kick and applied an accolade. Rusev flew in with a knee strike, but Reed broke up the cover with a senton. Reed followed this up with a tsunami on Sheamus, and Jey broke up that pin. At one point, Jey speared Reed, but surprise, surprise, there was interference. Braun Breaker shoved Jey off the top rope, so Sami Zayn would run down and posted Breaker. Zayn then went for a haluva kick, but Breaker grabbed him by the throat and tossed him over the announce table. Penta would then fly in and wipe out Braun Breaker with a dive. Reed then hit Jey with a Death Valley driver. There was more interference this time. L.A. Knight, yeah, comes down and he shoves Reed off the top rope. Jey spears Reed a couple times. Uso splash and pins him. 1, 2, 3. Jey Uso now moves on in the second round of the King of the Ring and will face Cody Rhodes next week. Before we get to the post-match, what did you think of the match itself? I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the match. I did. Even though the interference at the end, like, it was a good match, and I feel like it was also one of those matches where not that many people were like really affected about,
right?
Not in a negative way. So it was just a fun match.
So
I also just noticed this, like Sheamus with the red tights. It was like this felt like old school Sheamus.
Yeah, it did.
Like 2012 Sheamus, basically.
Right. So
do you remember that 2012 Sheamus with
100%.
The red tights and that old like gray, red and black T-shirt with the foot on it. Watch out, hooligans! Here I come. So that was my childhood right there.
So Jay's down and out. He's having trouble even getting up, and Seth Rollins comes out. He's burning it down, marching down to the ring, and I don't know why, but my brain just goes, "Cody's making the save." I don't know why, but I'm just like, Cody's making the save. Then they're going to set up him and Jey for next week. Didn't know Cody was even there. I don't know. Just my brain. That's where my brain went. And what happened? Well, Seth goes to get in the ring, and out comes Cody. Cody runs down. Rose enters the ring to a huge reaction, goes face to face with Seth, and I'm like, holy shit, they're not doing that if there's not a plan for something Seth and Cody down the line, if not soon. So they're teasing something with Seth and Cody, which I don't hate. It's been a while since they've been opponents, so it's time. Let's do it again. But
Cody's first opponent when he returned to the WWE.
yeah, so they stare down for a second, and then Seth's just like, you know what? I don't need to deal with this. I'm gonna leave. Rose then helps up Jay. They have a little face-off. They shake hands, and they tell us, hey, this is our match next week in the King of the Ring tournament. So there we go. That is Monday Night Raw. Let me get the poll going here on Twitch really fast. I forgot to do that earlier. What did you think of Raw? But overall, what did you think of? Do you think they're setting up something Cody and Seth soon, or is that like way down the line?
It's probably just a tease right now. They'll probably just wait it down the line, I think.
Or is this a tease of Cody's going to win the title back at SummerSlam from Cena when he wins King of the Ring, and Seth is going to start teasing, I'm going to cash in on Cody?
I think it could be a tease for War Games, honestly.
But
Because here's my thing.
Who on Cody's side?
Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. Hear me out. So for Cody's side, it's Cody, Jay, Randy, Punk, and maybe Roman. Don't know when Roman's gonna be back.
So he says Cody, Jay, Punk, Roman. That's 4, yeah.
And Jay.
Yeah.
Jay.
Yeah. So you need one more on the Seth side then.
And Seth, Braun, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, and Cena.
Seth, Braun, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Cena. Okay, but you only said 4 on the other side. Cody, Jay, Punk, and Roman.
Cody, Jay, Punk, Roman, and Randy.
Oh, Randy. I didn't hear Randy.
Or either Randy or LA Knight, one of the two.
Okay. Maybe.
I mean, that would be an all-star lineup right there for both sides.
Yeah, I would.
I think it works out great because it also gives Cena the recognition of he worked War Games.
Yeah. So as far as the polls do go, remember the Twitch poll is live if you're watching on Twitch. But as far as the polls do go, Threads, 82% liked the show, 9% thought it was just all right, and 9% didn't like it. Looking over at the Twitter X poll, 68% liked the show, 18% thought it was just all right, and 13% didn't like it. As far as the community poll does go, 78% liked the show, 16% thought it was just all right, and 7% didn't like it. As far as the live poll, 87% liked the show, 13% thought it was just all right, and finally, everybody that voted on Twitch liked the show. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited. Chugga, chugga, choo, choo. We're going to be barreling on to a 2.5-hour AEW Dynamite this Wednesday. Wednesday, we got Dynamite, 2.5 hours from Mexico. And so with all of that, we'll see you here on a Wednesday for AEW Grand Slam Mexico. It'll be a 2.5-hour show. So with all of that, Luke, tell them where they can find you. On that train?
Now, it's slowing down now. What, you had to mute me? You had to mute me for that?
A little bit.
All right, you can find me over at Twitter X at petcure_21, and you can also find me over at Twitch at Young Grasshopper Luke. All right, the train's gone. It's gone.
Trey says, what the hell was that noise? It was a train going by Luke's place. But with that, again, we'll see you back here live on a Wednesday for AEW Grand Slam Mexico. 2.5-hour show. Remember that. 2.5 hour, not 4, not 2, 2.5. We'll see you next time.